I know that we're going to go on an airplane that instead of using regular fossil fuels, I think we're going to use biofuel, which is made of more natural things, so it produces less pollution.
Alaska Airlines is leading the industry by being the first U.S. carrier to use biofuels on multiple scheduled flights. Starting today, we plan to operate 75 flights with Alaska Airlines 737s between Seattle and Washington Reagan Airport, and with the Horizon Q400 turboprops, several flights a day between Seattle and Portland. I think customers will be very intrigued with what we're doing with biofuels. While airlines only account for about 2% of carbon emissions, there's certainly room for improvement. And what we're doing with a 20% blend, if we were to do that on all of our flights at Alaska, that would be the carbon equivalent of taking about 64,000 cars off the road. And that's important to everybody. We want to be great stewards of the environment. The whole industry does. And it's important for us to provide some leadership on this.
Thank you, Jason.
And what we use as a feedstock is this right here. So, and what this is this is used cooking oil, and the plant also can process animal fats. So we're talking about byproducts and waste products that come from the region, and they're all brought together at that plant in Louisiana through a series of processing steps converted into the clean, clear, water-white fuel that you see here today.
There are a variety of different feedstocks that can be used to produce biofuel, everything from cooking oil to camelina seed here in the Northwest to municipal waste in the Bay Area. There are lots of folks looking at lots of different projects using lots of different feedstocks for the production of biofuel.
By 2050, the goal is really to cut our emissions as an industry in half. Now, we can do some of that with more efficient airplanes. Do some of that with more efficient operations, but really the big thing that gets us kind of turned a corner is these sustainable aviation biofuels. Generally, the aviation biofuels that people are looking at are somewhere between 50 and 80% lower carbon footprint than fuel from petroleum.
Customers won't know the difference. The engine operates exactly the same. All of the parameters, everything that we measure technically about engine performance is identical.
The original concern 4 or 5 years ago from Boeing was that the congealing aspects of it at high altitudes and low temperatures, but evidently the freeze point's lower, flash point's higher. It's a more efficient burn, and it's actually better on the components of the engine. So it's kind of a win-win. It's just, again, cost factor is going to have to be significantly reduced in order for it to be viable for the airlines to burn.
It obviously doesn't make sense from a cost perspective right now to be using biofuels, but we think that this is just to highlight the idea that if a biofuels industry does arise in the Northwest, that we're here ready, willing, and able to participate in it and purchase the fuels.
This isn't about a near term, this isn't about this month or this year, this is about a longer term effort that we think is very, very important, and we're pleased to be part of making it happen.
I think it's the pioneering spirit that Alaska's always had, and Boeing has as well, so it's fabulous that we can work together on this.